Hey YouTube, it's been a minute. I'm in Sydney. Lately I've been a bit cramped with city life with all the noise and not much room to move around. Just so happens that Samsung have tasked me with finding inspiration and acting upon it. So I'm getting out of here. I'm going to New Zealand with my good friend Demis in search of mountains. We're going to create a short film and this BTS YouTube video, so stick around to the end for that. The entire film will be edited on the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra. I gotta head home to pack because we're leaving pretty soon. See ya. Yeah, we're heading to
New Zealand.
Queenstown, New Zealand.
Hello sir, welcome aboard the city.
Hey, we made it. We're in Queenstown, New Zealand. That's the Remarkables. We just picked up our rental car. Stick around, this is day one. We're here for 5 days and we're going to be traveling to a lot of photo locations, a lot of mountains. The premise of the reels, I need mountains in my life, I think so.
Ben needs mountains in his life.
He's assisting me and we're going to make this YouTube video. We're going to make a bunch of reels. Hopefully I can teach you a few things along the way and take you around to the crazy mountains. This is an airport. There's like a runway right there. The planes come in through the mountains. It's pretty nuts, but yeah, day one. We're currently driving. We've got 2 hours to go to get to Mount Cook, but we're going through Linda's Pass, so we're going to try and see if we can stop over, and there's a lot of roadkill, but this is the view. So we did a quick scene with this rock. Had an idea about a transition. We just shot that with Demis. It's where basically we do a match cut of me picking up a rock and I teleport to a new location. We did it before at Mount Cook and now we're Lake Tekapo. That's what. We're doing quite a lot. Shooting a bunch of stuff for Samsung, so pretty happy to be partnered with them. They've enabled us to do some pretty cool things, like send us to New Zealand to create some content. But yeah, I gotta go. The sun's dipping. We gotta shoot this content and then head back and check into our accommodation at Cabo. See ya.
Yeah, I'm recording.
We're just at the start of the Mount Cook drive. I guess we'll just try to drive a bit closer and do the hike. I think we should be able to see a bit more mountains as we get closer, but I've set up some rigs So I've got a suction cup mount with a action fall. I've also got another one up here.
I'll take photos of that landscape. That's kind of sick.
Where's the soccer field?
It's meant to be here.
Demo says 8 layers on. We're going to Antarctica. But it's raining, sleeting, but it's a 3-hour walk down into the valley, which should be pretty cool. Trying to carry not as much gear, but my bag's pretty heavy already. And yeah, this is what it looks like. Pretty cool. So Mount Cook is right there, but it's kind of hidden. I'm currently squatting in a bush. I didn't bring a tripod, which may be a mistake because Mount Cook finally decided to show. But I've got this little semi-tripod thing. It's gonna tip over because the rock's tilted, so I have to hold it down here. It'll be a cool time lapse because Mount Cook's kind of peeking in and out of the clouds. I don't know if you can see. It's right at the tip there, but yeah, I need to bring tripods. Hard to tell how steep it is, but it's very steep. And that's the view. I think I'm about 2/3 the way up, but it's very steep from here on up. Shit rolling down the hill.
So down there is where we parked the car, and I'm currently here. So I've almost made it all the way to the top now. The track is all snow, as you can see. I stupidly took a really steep shortcut on the way up because it was so steep. I started to cramp really bad. So the last maybe 30-40 minutes of the hike, I kept stopping every 5 minutes. It took me a lot longer than I thought I would. But yeah, and I hope Ben makes it as well. See you guys on top.
4 hours later.
see the lights. I want to see Demis. My God. Made it. Didn't think I would, to be honest, at one point. So I'm at the spot, which is looks like this, and Demis is back. See him? Where is he? I can't even see him. He's around here somewhere, and he's shooting from this angle, so it's a bit higher. It's a better shot. I stood there, and this is how the back looks. If you're curious, you go a bit higher, so you have some elevation, so you can get the peak that's surrounded by water if you're a bit higher. From this level, if you can see, the peak doesn't really break the water, which is not the best for photography or visual composition pretty much. There's also a toilet here. Pretty convenient. Wanted to visit this place for a long time. To be honest with you, I didn't think I was going to make it a few times. It was 40 minutes in from the car. I was like, I think I'm going to go.
Even like
but then
10 minutes in, you were like, I think I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, but I don't know, one foot after the other, and I finally made it after like 5 hours.
Slow and steady.
Yeah.
Slow and steady wins the race, guys.
This is probably one of the harder hikes I've done, but we've just finished shooting. The light's just about to dip. It's really cool that we get to do these things for a living. I'm tired, but it's still worth it. We're going to teleport back to my home studio, and yeah. I hope you like the short film. I'm back in Sydney, as you can tell. I'm going to run you through how I edited on the Tab S9 in Lumafusion and give you some tips on Lumafusion, as well as show you some BTS of how we actually got the shots. So let's jump in. The first thing that's super convenient is that you get to plug your SSD in straight away and start editing directly from the SSD. So you just, with that USB-C cable, just plug it into the USB on the side and you're good to go. There's also a micro SD card which is behind the SIM tray. Then you open Lumafusion. So this is the standard layout for Lumafusion. You have your media up here, your timeline down here, and this is actually set up for a 16:9 widescreen edit, but you can actually change that down here. It's pretty easy. This is actually for vertical video, the way I've set it up. So it's quite convenient. You can resize how you want. Say if you're importing clips, you probably want this section to be bigger, so you can make it bigger so you can see everything. And then once you've imported all there, you can adjust it just how you want. So I want to see the timeline right now. I'm going to push that a bit higher so we can see the timeline. It's pretty intuitive. Pinch to zoom and expand the timeline so you can see what you're doing. You can scrub through the timeline quite quickly, and it's powerful enough to do so with ease. If you want to play, you just tap the play screen and it'll play. Tap again to pause. So I'll run you through the first teleportation sequence of how we went from Sydney to New Zealand. That was actually shot in reverse. So as you can see, I shot the New Zealand sequence on the Tab S9. And then we went back to Sydney, and then I shot the city scene. I'm just copying the motion that I filmed in New Zealand. So this scene itself on the tab is a video that I'm playing back, and I'm just mimicking the movement. And as I pull the tab towards the camera, I just cut to the next clip, which we filmed earlier in New Zealand, as you can see the BTS on the screen. That was the idea anyway. But it's quite simple. I think it turned out pretty good. Next is the match cuts, as I wanted to have a whole bunch of me walking and the scene would change constantly. Every step it basically changes to a new location. It's quite simple. Tips for shooting it: you want to use the same focal length and height. You want to walk at the same pace away from the camera and directly straight so it's easier to match. In Lumafusion, I'll give you a tip. What you want to do, line them up if you're having trouble. You want to match the stride, so each step it's quite matched. The way I did it was to put the clip on top of each other, then go down to edits, and if you scroll down on the right hand side there's blending. You can actually change the opacity, and then you go to sizing and position, and you can move it around and resize it to make sure it matches. I've already done this, so what we're going to do is to undo, but basically that's how you do it. You want to match it as best as you can, and I've timed it to the song, so each step goes with the beat. But that's how I did match cuts. It's quite simple, but looks quite cool when you play it together. A lot of the film was shot in camera to make it easier on the edit. So there's a super zoom transition where it zoomed in very close to me and it zooms all the way out and you get to see the entire landscape. That was actually done on the S23 Ultra just by changing lenses while I was filming. So as you can see in the clip, it does glitch. A trick to this is just to zoom all the way into the timeline and cut out where the camera glitches, just to smooth that out a bit. And the final whip pan was actually done in camera. It's quite simple, you just use the camera motion as the transition. So as you can see, it looks like a transition, but it's actually done in camera. Once you're done and you're happy with the video, you go down here, export movie. And that's it. I hope you liked the vlog and the edit tutorial. Huge thanks to Samsung for making this project happen, and huge thanks to Dennis for helping me film and road tripping with me. I leave their links below. Subscribe, like, see ya.